Before we get after anything else in the landscape of caregiving, we need to strengthen, nourish, and care for the caregiver. For most of you participating in this course, that means strengthening, nourishing, and helping you. You need to take care of you. So many caregivers just don't think about this center part first or enough, and it's for a variety of reasons. One reason, they're caregivers, so they're wired to work in selfless ways, and it feels just plain wrong to put themselves at the top of their to-do list. Another reason, their personal situation doesn't feel urgent, so while their caregiving responsibilities do feel urgent, their personal things don't. Or a very common explanation we get is caregivers are busy juggling 100 things, and therefore to stop the madness and calm the chaos of what's on their plate, they can just put their own needs on the back burner or the side burner. The problem with this approach is that if you neglect yourself, you slip into a black hole that not only causes you problems down the line, which you don't deserve, it can also hijack the very care you want to give to your loved one. This is a common situation. When we looked at information that we pulled in 2020, 3 out of 4 caregivers report providing care to be stressful, and more than half called it overwhelming. 1 in 4 caregivers report having difficulty taking care of their own health. About 85% of family caregivers in the US don't have any respite care. Respite care being care that relieves the caregiver from their duties so they can rest, recharge, revitalize their focus on their own lives. In addition, depression affects 20 to 40% of caregivers, and burnout, which comes in many forms, is reported often. Stephen Covey, author of The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, taught as the 7th habit, sharpen the saw, which means taking care of you. Dr. Covey said, "We must never become too busy sawing to take the time to sharpen the saw." I could not agree more. Well, perhaps I might say to Dr. Covey, let's make that the first of the 7 habits, because for us, it's got to be. The first thing on top of the list has to be keeping you, yourself, healthy, well, and resilient. So what does a healthy, well, and resilient caregiver look like? We've identified 4 elements that we're going to outline in this course. Actually, a 5th component that we'll talk a little bit about later. But for now, 4 elements or components define caregiver health, wellness, and resilience. First, your physical health. How you're doing physically, mobility, sleep, diet, exercise, etc. Second, your mental and emotional health. How's your anxiety, your worry, your anger, your bitterness? Third, your social and family health. How are the relationships that matter the very most in your life? Not just your caregiver relationship, but how are the others? Are they receiving nourishment and attention? And lastly, your personal, financial, and career health, your profession, all of these different areas of health, they all have to be strong for you to be able to give the very best of yourself to the caregiving situation and to live the life you deserve.